Hey Brampton Golf Club, welcome back. Today we're making mushroom soup, one of my favorites. We're going to start off with the ingredients I've already got ready to go, which are in my pot. Okay, so in the pot I have diced carrot, I have diced onion, diced fennel. I like fennel in my soup, I think there's a nice flavor to it. And I'm going to add a generous amount of olive oil. Alright, now we're going to saute this off. And then we're going to add our garlic to it and our fresh thyme. Different varieties of mushrooms that we're using. One is shiitake. I take the stem off the shiitake. And with the shiitake, I like to julienne it, which is cut it in strips. All right, we have a portobello mushroom. What I like to do with that and cut it almost perfectly in half like that. Then I'm going to cut strips. Turn it one more time, and then I'm going to dice it, okay? Just so that each mushroom has a different consistency when we're cooking it. We'll add that to that pile. And then I have camini mushrooms. I like to cut those in half, and then just slice them. Now let's check on our onions and our fennel and our carrot. Okay, so our onions, our fennel, our carrots are cooking really nicely now. You can see they're starting to clarify a little bit. I'm going to add my sliced garlic into here. I like my garlic to be visible. I don't like it all minced up so much. And then I have some fresh thyme that I've pulled off the sprigs. I'm going to add that as well. Okay, so we're going to cook this for a little bit longer, and then we're going to add our mushrooms to it. All right, so our vegetables are really nice. I wish you could smell the garlic and the thyme. It really comes out. Now I'm going to start adding our mushrooms to it, and we're going to saute these off for a good 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, so our mushrooms are nicely sauteed off. As you can see, you know, the volume is really shrunk down, but the flavor's still there. What I like to do now is I'm going to remove some of this mushroom mix, and we're going to add that to our soup a little bit later. Okay, I think that should be good. Maybe a wee bit more. Okay, now I'm going to turn this back up on high heat. I'm going to add some white wine. Add some salt. Fresh pepper. Okay, we're going to let this reduce for a little bit, and then we're going to add some water to it. Okay, so now I'm going to add some water. Now the reason why we took half the mushrooms out is because what I want to do is puree this part of the soup, and then I want to add the other mushrooms that we've already sauteed off for texture into the soup, giving it a little bit better than just a pureed soup or just a chunky soup. I want to add some body to it. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit of vegetable base. You can use vegetable base or you can use chicken base. I've gone recently vegetarian, so I'm going to go with vegetarian base so I can have some of this lovely soup. Now I'm going to add one more ingredient. I'm going to add some diced potatoes and the water from the diced potatoes. Now I add the potatoes because I want to thicken the soup. I want to give it, you know, more body than just the straight up liquid mushrooms pureed. So I add some potatoes to it. You can add rice if you like. You can add flour. I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch a little bit later on, okay? So now we're gonna let this cook. It should take about 20 to 25 minutes at this point to cook. We really wanna get those potatoes nice and tender, so it adds a good consistency to the broth. Thank you. All right, well, welcome back. While our mushroom soup is cooking, we're talking about some of the health benefits that mushrooms provide for us. Number one is the antioxidants. Great for fighting cancer, heart disease, vitamins D, B, and C. Also, a great source of fiber and a great source of protein as well. There's about 3 grams of protein per cup of mushrooms. And if you're like me and you're looking for protein and you can't have meat products, mushrooms are a good substitute. Okay, so now it's been about 30 minutes and we're going to puree our soup. So I got a little wand. Okay, so now the soup is thick. I can take a spoon right now and I can feel it. It's a little bit, it's pretty good, but I want it just a little bit thicker than that. Now at this time, if you wanted to, you can add cream, 35% cream to your soup. I prefer not to. I'm not a big fan of the heavy cream soup. So what I do is take some cornstarch and I add water to it. Mix it with a spoon. Important thing about cornstarch is the liquid has to be at boiling temperature. That's when you have to add your cornstarch. You need to cook it for at least 5 minutes, okay? All right, that's good for me right now. Now we're going to add the rest of our mushrooms that we initially started with, okay? So I don't need this anymore. That comes out. And we're going to add our mushrooms that we took out at the beginning. Welcome back. So our mushroom soup is all ready to go. So I'm going to take a ladle over here. Well, I wish you could smell how delicious this is. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to it. Now, I personally like spicy, so I'm going to add some fresh chopped pepper to it as well. But yeah, look at this, real nice. Smooth consistency with the nice pieces of mushroom and carrot and fennel in there now that we added to it. Looks really delicious. Wow, delicious. Enjoy.